it roll up. I'm gonna finally move the camera up a little bit. I feel like it's been low for quite a while. Anyway, you know what we got going on today? Chores. We gotta do a little bit of work. Maintain this place. Just garbage piling up. And we're gonna take out a little bit of it with our garbage people of the week. Now, it was supposed to be Jessica Burbank who was going to be joining me. Jessica's going to be filling in for Dr. Rashad Ritchie on Indisputable, but Ben Glebe is actually going to be joining us for another Friday show, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned to find out who he throws in the can. We've got a lot of news to talk about, including me explaining why it is that Trump is like a duck. Because maybe it's not immediately clear. We'll see if anyone can guess. Hit the like button if you haven't already, so the people know we're live and all that. We're going to jump into a little bit of news, including that for the second day now, gas prices have gone down very slightly. 1 penny since yesterday. I believe it was almost a penny yesterday. Minor changes, but at least it's not skyrocketing up again. COVID numbers basically where they've been at. I believe though that all of the rates of change, the basically the slope of the descent, has been getting lower. We're now a good bit under 30,000 hospitalizations, still above 3,000 people in ICU, and around the same numbers of deaths. So that's not changing too much, and to the extent that it is changing, it's changing less. Oh, really fast. I don't know if I ever mentioned this. No, Keita, it's not that. Thank you, though. Anyway, EU voting to force all phones to use the same charger by 2024. Like, on some level, that feels like, is that really the place of the government? But, like, on another level, yeah, just fucking do the USB-C. I cannot tell you how much I hate, like, a micro USB device. I still have a few. My Kindle uses micro USB. And the occasional thing that requires like lightning, that's at least you're opting into that, I guess. I still think they should switch over to USB-C. They clearly can. My iPad uses USB-C. Why the hell do the iPhones have to use the other thing? Can we all just use the same cable? And by the way, it doesn't mean we have to do it forever. 10 years from now, if they have a way better cable, we switch over to that. But I'm sick of micro USB. It's gone too far and it needs to be stopped. Anyway. You know what I want? I had an idea. I want to know what you think about this idea. So I'm always looking for like new ways that we can do content, you know, because we have a fairly typical way that we do stuff. I was watching a video on a YouTube channel I watch a lot of their videos for. It's called The Dice Tower. It's a board game YouTube channel. They do great work. And they were doing a thing using a service I'd never seen. So the video that they were doing isn't super important, but it's about, they were like comparing board game cover art, which I actually care about, and I've watched a couple hours of them talking about it. But anyway, what they were using was a thing called Straw Poll, which lets you do little micro polls that people can respond to really fast. And so I saw it, and I was like, I didn't know about this thing. I have an idea. Chase, you can always tweet me stories. I bet, you know what we need to do? We should do a little special, a 30-minute thing or something like that, where we take all of the potential people that could be running on the Democratic primary 2024, and we do the brackets, but letting you all vote in straw polls, throwing everyone up there and seeing what you all think, and then gradually getting it down to who does the community actually choose based on their voting. Do you think that would be fun? I need to learn a little bit more about how the service works and how easy it is for people to sign on and vote and everything, but it was a lot of fun. Like, I think if it could be fun for board game covers, I think it could be fun for something like this. I don't want people to fight or anything, but I think it could be fun. I know that there are polling things, but it looked really simple. I would have to figure out how to run it and everything. Anyway, okay, so let's see. We have 4 minutes. We're going to jump into our main story in just a sec. Edwin let me know about this Peruvian holiday that we're going to be talking about as we get more into the holiday season. I'm going to save this for later. Oh, little bit of, you know, the cost of healthcare is obviously so expensive. So when you see something that's not that expensive, it really stands out. So I saw this. Wait, hold on a second. Dystopian Sunset. Thank you for your support regardless of platform. I don't want to get into a fight, but thank you for your support. Anyway, there is a clinic, apparently, offering free vasectomies, citing a surge in demand. 60 vasectomies will be offered over 3 days in and outside of Planned Parenthood clinics in St. Louis, Springfield, and Joplin to uninsured patients during the first week of November. Apparently, there has been a surge in that. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that once someone gets pregnant, they no longer have control over their own body. And I thought that was interesting. The other thing I thought was interesting was, wow, really? You can offer like a surgical procedure for free? And then that made me wonder, how much is a vasectomy? Because like to give that away for free seems pretty big. And then one of my producers was like, well, I looked it up. It's like $1,000 or something. And I thought, isn't that not expensive enough? Like, I don't know if I've ever said that about medicine before, but I feel like if they're doing stuff down there, you kind of want it to cost more because I feel like they'll be more careful. I don't want this to be like a dental cleaning. Like, I think you get what you pay for. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so why don't we jump into our... Oh, this Pelosi video is so good. We unfortunately don't have time for it. So, okay, Donald Trump and ducks. Why are they similar? Well, not in terms of appearances. Other animals he's much closer to. No, this is a behavior / public relations comms thing. Because a duck, notably, above the level of the water, is very calm. Below the level of the water, is freaking out to maintain its position and not sink and all that. And Donald Trump is in that position right now. If you follow him on Truth Central, then you get the idea that he feels very in control of the many different scandals he's involved with and the legal, issues, challenges that he's currently facing. There's so many that, honestly, if I were to try to list them right now, I'm sure that I would miss some. On having to testify before the January 6th committee, by the way, he put out this long statement on Truth Central, which is absolute madness. Looking like Robin Williams back down Alexis. I've literally never heard that one in my life. Thank you. Anyway, implying that not only is he not worried about it, but maybe he would actually look forward to appearing before the committee. We're going to be talking about that more on the show. With E. Jean Carroll, he was mocking her on Truth Central. Fulton County, I don't even think he generally talks about it. So he's perfectly comfortable about all that, except that, according to, and I hate to give her credit, but she does seem to have a weird amount of access to Donald Trump, Maggie Haberman, Trump has been reportedly raging over the past few days as his legal troubles get worse. And he's in the middle of a shitstorm, apparently by his own words. And the thing about Trump is he cannot just dwell on this himself. He apparently cannot confide in his family or friends. He makes aides listen to this, and he tells them what he really thinks about all this stuff. And then they go and they leak it to people like Maggie Haberman. So we always have an inside view of what he's thinking, what he's saying. And in this case, he is raging. Now, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. That does not necessarily mean that he's very worried about ending up in jail or being barred from running. Let's not go crazy or anything. It could be that he's just very frustrated by the process. Although, man, like, if you were charged with a crime, you'd have to actually do something about it. You might have to actually go to court. He gets to, like, delay. He's got people who go out and do media appearances for him. He's freaking out when he is as insulated from the consequences of his actions and the crimes that he commits than anyone else on earth. And it's still too much for him. But anyway, he has apparently been going to aides and talking about how freaked out he is about this. And in particular, they mention, and you can go on, thank you, May, but you can go on the New York Times. Maggie Haberman has a little bit of write-up about this. The E. Jean Carroll thing particularly seems to bother him, and I find that to be interesting. Now, I don't believe that on that, amongst all of these, we're going to get justice or anything like that. But why would he be freaking out about that? After all, Donald Trump has faced accusations of this sort from literally dozens of women. And he says publicly again, the duck, like behind the scenes, freaking out. above the water, I'm not even attracted to her. I was never there. It never happened. There's literally no truth to it. So why is he freaking out? I mean, I would be freaking out. Let's say that it was fake. Let's say that it's totally fake. I would still be freaking out because it would make me look terrible, right? If it was about me. But he doesn't have to freak out. Like, his reputation is already that he's a harasser and a sexual assaulter and all that stuff. And that hasn't hurt him. So why would he be freaking out about this one? I don't have answers to any of these questions, by the way. I'm just going to be watching it in the same way that all of you are. And we have some updates on the timeline of a few of these things that we'll be talking about on the show with Ben Glebe. For now, though, it's really just a little bit of Friday schadenfreude. You know, we're probably never going to get him in jail. So the idea that he's at least stewing in his private life, if that's all we get, at least that's something. It makes me feel a little bit better. I don't feel that way about most people. I don't delight in the suffering of people I disagree with. But for Donald Trump, I feel like he's earned it. Donald Trump, George W. Bush, there's a few. Anyway, so as of right now, Jer Jackson is live on the watch list. Yasmin Aliyah Khan has joined him. You know it's going to be an awesome, fun show to end the week with, so you don't want to miss that. They're talking about Nancy Pelosi. We've got one little bit of Nancy Pelosi we're going to be talking about, me and Ben Glebe. And then importantly, we are going to be throwing away the trash. And you know what? I realize you're all good people, so you would never see this view otherwise. But for some of the worst people in America, this is where they're going. Anyway, hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already, and join me in 1 hour with Ben Glebe, because we're going to have a hell of a fun time to close off the week. Thank you, as always, for joining me, and I'll see you in a little bit.